Minecraft. It's a game about breaking some blocks. Maybe you place some blocks. Get some items. Build a base with your friend. Kill your friend and take his items. Get blown up by a green parasite and lose everything you just stole from your friend. Then also lose your friendship and log off. Listen, even that doesn't capture the millions of ways to experience Minecraft. Minecraft's always been about innovation. And whatever this is. What the f— A lot of you guys said make Minecraft into an FPS. And I know you guys love it when I give insert character name a gun. But I've got a better idea. Teaching a monkey JavaScript. Today I'm gonna throw Minecraft into Unity and turn it into a platformer. But before we get started, according to my YouTube analytics, only about 90% of people watching are looking good. Is that a new shirt? I like it. Okay, but how do we take Minecraft and turn it into a platformer? Well, we take the fundamentals of a platformer and give it the graphics and appeal of Minecraft. So what are the typical rules for a platformer? Well, normally you're given a semi-linear stage. You run around, you jump on things, you hit things, you figure things out, you get mad and turn off the console because the one damn enemy keeps pissing you off. God damn it! So to start, we need a character that we can control. So I whipped up a super basic third-person character controller with a rigged Steve model I found online and got stuff looking pretty nice if I do say so myself. So what can you do in this? Well, you can jump. Well, if jumping's so good, then why isn't there jumping too? Well, you can double jump for some extra height. You can brutally assault people. There's no one recording it with a really shaky camera screaming world star, but hey, maybe that'll be in a future update. And you can slide tackle because, I don't know, soccer or something, I guess. To top this off, throw in some footstep sounds, particles, small details you don't really notice, but makes everything much more lively and not dead. Listen, the platformer experience is best played with a controller, which I have yet to implement in any of my works. I thought I'd knock this one off my list of stuff I should do, but haven't done. Remember sitting down carefree in your parents' living room with a controller in your lap playing video games on a Saturday? Yeah, you're never getting that back, but you can use a controller in my game. After I finished the controls, I experimented with different kinds of puzzles that might work. For example, pushing a block to a ledge and then you double jump off to get some extra height, redstone lever and button that activates certain things, my favorite of which was the slime block that you can bounce off of. And honestly, animating it was just as fun as bouncing off of it for 20 minutes. He's just vibing. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. No stress at all. Doesn't have to worry about taxes or check engine lights. Okay, that sound cannot be good. Now it doesn't sound like a dying cyborg. Oh, no way! Sonic ain't got nothing on me! Next I added some animals. I tried to animate a sheep and I know you're somewhere. Yeah, I don't have any experience animating animals, so I looked at a bunch of reference images to get it right so it doesn't look like his life is in shambles. But let's be honest, they're pretty much just moving decorations, and also there's not really any anatomy to work with, so I just made their legs swing back and forth like in the original. Okay, cool, we got Steve. He can jump around, he makes noises, he can brutally assault people, he can solve puzzles by himself, but still can't solve the puzzle why Alex won't text him back. But we need actual properly designed maps for a platformer, because this map is boring. And stupid. And boring. And stupid. Alright, I don't know how actual map designers design maps. I don't know if they just like wave a wand and it magically appears like Fairly Odd Parents. So I planned out all my maps in Photoshop with these really scuffed 2D diagrams. It's this semi-confusing jumble of shapes and text. And yes, it starts out very small and gets very large because proportions are the devil. Making something look nice and polished with a scuffed means of production is a life skill. And if you're good at that, please don't become an architect. So we got 4 maps planned out here. Tutorial. Yeah, I just didn't have the attention span for a diagram. There were too many layers for my brain to handle. Skyblock Plains, Nether Wastelands, and Herobrine's Castle. So I went in chronological order to this game's story and started with tutorial. Look, it's a ravine, and you start at the bottom, and you work your way to the top learning how to play. See what I did there? Isn't it cute? It started out as this cubic hole and somehow morphed into this. I'm not restricting the map to just be blocky like the original game because I want to have more flexibility. And also, you can't stop me. Seriously, I have a gun. So I set up tutorial with basic puzzles that teach you how to play. Problem is, there's a lot that goes into video game puzzles. You can't just give them a gun and let them run around and shoot things like my other games. Like if the player decides to just push this box off a ledge and completely ruin the puzzle. That's on the developer to make sure that doesn't happen. Now normally responsibilities aren't fun and they make you feel old. But coming up with the safeguards is actually kind of fun and it's a creative way of thinking. I give the little box a zone and if it leaves the zone it shrinks and then respawns back at its original spot. Now moving on to Skyblock Plains. Yeah, remember that old challenge where you're on an island with a tree? I thought it'd be a cool theme for a level. It's a linear level with platforming challenges and puzzles. I sprinkled it with some mobs, flowers, and ambient effects so the world looks less dead. This looks beautiful. Oh, now collectibles are by far one of the most notable attributions to platformers. It's in every single one of them. You either feel really good when you get a bunch of them, or you feel really guilty because you pass by all of them because you just can't be bothered. So in this game, you got score. Yeah, I know it's not the most innovative thing, but how the hell am I supposed to innovate score? Innovation hours are from 9 to 5. But platformer developers really wanted to innovate collectathons. They already had this sort of score that you build up that was pretty much just a meaningless number, but, you know, seeing big numbers is always kind of rewarding in some way. Point is, they needed something to intrigue the player even more than just a mindless number. So I added diamonds. There's 3 diamonds per level, and they're designed to be in clever or hard to reach spots. The third and final collectible is hats. I mean, it's like maybe 5 lines of code, and it seems pretty cool, so why not add it? It's like diamonds, but look, my character has a bucket on his head. I was originally just gonna make it helmets or headwear from the original game, but that's hella boring. So I added shades, one of those cliche propeller hats, a top hat. You want him to wear a Krusty Krab hat?
Sounds like a lot of...
Well, that is a cursed image. The next stage is a nether-themed one I called Nether Wastelands. I tried out a more open world map for this, and I really liked it because it feels like you're exploring, but there's very obvious goals, so you're not too lost. It's got nether fortresses, soul sand valleys, lava, in case you missed that somehow. Pretty small stage using the mechanics of the last 2 stages. Plus nether enemies like wither skeletons and magma cubes. Okay, so as I was modeling this stage, Blender randomly crashed, and I was like, that's weird. And then I realized it was a Unity error message. And then Unity proceeded to crash. Is this a feature? Cross-compatible crashes? Imagine going to a McDonald's and being like, hey, can I get a junior chicken? And the employee says, nah, sorry, you can't. The Burger King across the street's closed. And then the employee just self-destructs. What the fuck? The final stage was Herobrine's Castle. Herobrine's Castle takes after a cliche endgame where you have an abominably sized castle that you just run through with lava and endgame music, and it's all brave and epic. There were some cool things I implemented, like this cool puzzle where you pick up an ender eye that reveals invisible objects to progress. Now you may think that this requires some really technically savvy shader, but it couldn't be any simpler. If you press the secondary button to enable the ender eye, Unity will draw the object. If you disable it, you just tell Unity, hey, don't draw this object, and Unity won't draw it. It's literally 1 line of code. Now, computer nerds like to name common techniques dumb names like normal mapping or anisotropic filtering. But this is a rendering technique I'm gonna call, hey, don't render this when I tell you to, unless I tell you otherwise, then do it. I've got a patent on this, so if you use this technique in your games, I'll be expecting a monthly check with royalties in the mail. Now let's talk about bosses. I wanted to make something not so mediocre. Or at least I wanted to, but I mean, I feel like it's pretty hard to make a boss fight that's balanced for every player, so a lot of the times bosses just end up being pretty easy. Unless you're talking like Dark Souls, but that game's made for people that expect difficulty. And enjoy suffering. Not people that just want to jump around and giggle for a bit. So I wrote this friggin' cool AI thing where the enemy will predict where the player's going and shoot in front of them. It's actually pretty simple because we know the speed of the character and we know which direction he's going in, so you can easily work it out. It's smart, so you gotta pay attention and actually move out of the way. Can't just hold run like a fuck. So we've stitched together 4 playable levels with puzzles, collectibles, bosses, but there's something missing. I want things to look all cinematic and epic. So what do we need? Who let Michael Bay in? Yeah, Unity's got this cool thing that lets you make cutscenes. You drag stuff around, it remembers. 6 hours later, we got Avatar. Go back. Well, I mean the next best thing, basically. Okay, and I did add explosions too. Yeah, I know my games are usually very inherently satirical, but I still try to put basic plots in these games just to tie everything together properly. I'm not assuming people are downloading SpongeBob first-person shooter to be enriched in the story. I'm assuming they're downloading it just to shoot some fish. But if you really want to know why, I mean, you can. So the only thing left to do was flesh out the title screen and menus. So I did that, and then Unity crashed and left me with nothing, just like my ex-wife, Shelly. God damn you, Shelly! And then I did everything again but better, and I tried to stay faithful to the original Minecraft menu. Another thing I wanted to do was recreate a classic opening with the developer's name or symbol that makes it really feel like an old school platforming game. I mean, come on. Naughty Dog hit the nail on the coffin with this old school Jack and Daxter opening where they're messing around with the logo, and then it starts, and it's cozy vibes, man. Nowadays, it's just like, hey, here's our company, don't touch our stuff. Or else. Heck, Tony Hawk Pro Skater had a gorilla do a kickflip for the Neversoft logo. How are you gonna beat a gorilla doing a kickflip? I know I can't. What's next, an ape that plays Pong via mind control? God damn, Elon, you're good. So I worked on an opening of this cool token of my name that I made in Blender. Everything about this just screams old school platforming game. It's beautiful. It's the cherry on top to the cake that no one asked for. Still doesn't have a gorilla though. God damn you, Tony Hawk Pro Skater. And so finally, after 30 days of hard work, simultaneously combined with neglect, this is unintentionally sounding like every semester of college I've ever taken. I hope I made Notch proud. Not in a father-son kind of way, more like you're at your kid's little league baseball game and the best kid on the team just made a really good home run and you're just kind of like, wow, that was impressive. You know, it's kind of fun making a platformer because after you get the player controls and basic mechanics out of the way, it's just programming a bunch of obstacles and enemies and stuff, which is fun to mess around with. I think Minecraft looks dope as a 3D platformer. It doesn't really ruin your childhood so much as enhance it, I'd like to think. Kind of like some sort of fever dream. When I posted this screenshot, you guys all said, is he gonna ruin our childhoods again? Come on, guys. You think I'm gonna ruin your childhoods every chance I get? If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing and following me on Twitter if you want to hear more completely intelligible things I have to say. Or if you just want a picture of a AA battery in a blizzard. I mean, I don't know why you would, but you probably live in a free country, so I mean, do whatever you want. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace!
Cake come from it.